Good morning, everybody. It's Javier, and I'm super excited to be with you here today to share some concepts that can help make 2021 your best year ever as a mortgage loan originator or even as a real estate agent. And this is something that can be used for anything, as become a better person, a better parent, a better spouse, a better whatever. And so I'm super excited to be with you here today to share that with you. And of course, we are here in 2021. So I want to wish everybody a happy 2021. One of the things that I will warn you is to stay away from these New Year's resolutions that simply don't work. 90-something% fail within the first 2 weeks, and the rest of them fail the following couple of weeks after that. So don't fool yourself thinking that they work, because they just simply don't. I, for one, never believe in leaving anything to chance when it comes to business or anything that matters to me, period. I don't leave a thing to chance. And so I challenge you to do the same thing and make sure that, again, 2021 goes down as a pivotal year that was not only your best year ever, but most importantly, that started the whole series of events, making every year better than the previous one as well. And so I'm super excited to do that. We're here to talk about goal planning and how to achieve your goals, most importantly. But the first thing that I always want to start with is this simple question. Do you know what you really want? Because if you really don't want something, you're not going to get it. It's something that has to give you that burning desire. And that's the way Dale Carnegie calls it. And so it's very important for you to know what you really want. And the way I put it is, what is that keeps you up at night when you don't have it or when you don't achieve it? Or what inspires you? What floats your soul? What is it that, again, makes you go beyond what you thought you could never achieve? And for me, I'll go first here. One of the things that I really want is, as much as I love what I do, I don't want to do this for much longer. I want to do this a few more years and then switch gears and go to full-time philanthropy, which is what floats my soul, helping other people. The more I help other people achieve what they want, the more I've gotten what I want, and the more I just help people that need anything. It's amazing how when you give, you receive. And so that's one of the things that floats my boat, helping others. And I really want to just challenge you to, again, do some take some time, go to the beach, go to the mountains, go maybe just your backyard and reflect on what you want. Sometimes there's so much background noise with our spouse and our kids and our grandkids or whatever the case might be that we forget about ourselves, and you cannot do that. Don't sacrifice your future and your goals and your dreams at the expense of others. You don't want to do that, because the best version of you is what will help them become the best version of themselves. And so what really floats my boat, like I said, are things like my family, my God, my mom's still alive, thank God, my kids, my grandkids. And so I lump that all into the balanced personal life, if you would, that I try to work on a daily basis. And it's all achievable if you really want to do it. If you don't, well, it won't happen. And so, like I said, the main thing for everybody here to know is that it is achievable with some help, and most importantly, with proper planning. So if I was to ask you, what floats your boat? What gets you out of bed every morning and makes you do the things that otherwise we probably wouldn't do as it relates to goal setting and goal achieving? What floats your boat? What floats your soul? Anybody?
Just being able to reach out and help people, put them in a better financial position in their home or their home loan.
Okay.
That helps me feel good that I'm helping somebody else be in a better position than they started with when I come into their life.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay.
Yeah, that's just what does it for me. Giving me the peace of mind that I'm taking the tools that I have, that I've learned, that I'm continuing to learn, to reach out and help other people be in a better position.
Perfect. Thank you, Stephen. Thank you. Anybody else? What floats your boat at any level? Business, personal, anything?
Financial freedom.
Okay, financial freedom. And what about financial freedom? And here's where I'm going with that one of the things we all want to make sure we have is we have a very crystal clear picture of whatever it is you want looks like. What would it look like when you're financially free? What does it look like? Literally, anybody. What do we mean by that?
To me, what it means is not having to worry about money, not have to worry about finances, being able to be free to do what I choose to do.
Perfect. Okay. I mean, one of the things that I always wanted, and I was aimed for, and I was very blessed to be able to do that, is to just have all my bills on auto pay. I mean, literally not have to balance the checkbook per se, where just simply, your mortgage, your car insurance or whatever, cell phone, but just on auto pay, and not have to worry about whether there's going to be enough money in there or not. I hate debt. One of the things that, for those that do know me, know that I'm really anti-debt. I'm very blessed to, I think I told you guys I was one of the millions of people that were finding out what's wrong with my damn house when I was staring at it all day. And we ended up doing, things like windows and this and that. I mean, we just redid the whole damn house, even put in a pool. And, I was looking at the financing for the pool that they offered me, and it was, not bad. But then when I looked at the numbers, I'm not stupid. I know how finance works. And I saw that, SoFi was the top one, had a 11-12% interest rate on a $50,000 pool. And I was like, man, now I know how they build that damn stadium for the Chargers, with people's interest, that they're ripping you off. They're paying $1 for their money. They're selling it to you at 12%, making 11% off of you. It was just ridiculous that we just simply said, you know what, I don't want to deal with that. So I gave the guy $50,000 in cash and just said, here you go, walk away, and we will be done. I don't like debt. That's one of the things you will know about me. I have debt elimination workshops that I do. And the reason that I get so passionate about it is because I've done it and I continue to do it. I show people how it is possible. It is possible to unslave ourselves from the chains that debt represent, if you would, at every level of society. And so that's one of the things that I wanted to be as free as well. So thank you. Anybody else? What floats your boat? Anybody? Nothing floats your boat, huh? That's going to be a short webinar.
Well, Javier, in my case, it's kind of a little different because I am my second life, how I can say goals, because I achieve, 30 years ago, I did my goals and I did check. I am financially independent right now, because I don't need to work, but I got married, I remarried. So my goals has been shifted completely. And now I am working with new goals. And these new goals are going to be to produce $15,000, $20,000 a month extra for an extra 2 properties that I'm planning to buy in the next 2 years.
Perfect. And that's one of the best things I think about goals is that, like you said, you hit all your goals, you can just dream off of new goals, new dreams. And that's one of the things that I think you understand very well, obviously, because you've checked them all off before, is that once you check them off one time and you really get good at it, you can do it again and again and again. So it's very, very true. We all want our families to be well off. We want our families to not do the things maybe we did. I was mentioning in an earlier webinar, my first car growing up was one that required a screwdriver to start it. That was my high school car. And I always said that when I have kids, I don't want it to go through that. I want it to have a key, at least a car that requires just a key, let alone a new car or something like that. And I was able to do that. So that's very true. I mean, we reach our goals, plan new ones. And that's the beauty about repeating the goals if we would over and over again. Thank you. Anybody else want to share what floats your boat? I mean, because if you don't have something that really floats your boat, just so you know, 2021 is going to look a lot like 2020, whether that be good or bad, because we're just creatures of habit. Goals allow us to stretch ourselves out of our comfort zone and do the things that we otherwise never would have done had it been not for the one thing or a couple of things that, again, float our boat or our soul, stirs the soul. Anybody? No goals? All right, well, we're going to keep moving in the spirit of time then. This is a boring crowd, but we're going to go ahead and knock it out. When it comes to goals, here's the thing that I really do believe in big time, and that is that you want to make sure you create what are called or referred to as SMART goals. SMART stands for, it's an acronym. S for specific, M is for measurable, A is attainable, R is realistic, and T is timely. And let's start with specific. A specific goal has a much greater chance of being accomplished than a general goal. Now, as a loan officer, very, very simple. If you tell me how many credit checks you conducted in December, I'll tell you kind of about how many loans you're going to fund and get paid for in January. Something as simple as that. And I always tell people, if you just simply focus on running people's credit, you're going to end up with loans. Very, very simple. And you want to make sure that if you're not running at least 10 credits, you're not running at least 10 credit checks a month, something's wrong. We want to do that, unless you want to just run 1 or 2, and that's your goal, then bless your heart. But because we are governed by the law of averages, the law of averages is not profitable. The only way you can make the law of averages profitable is by applying the law of high numbers. And so if you're running 10 credit checks a month, you're probably funding 1 to 2. I mean, if you're good, that's just the way it is. If you're running less than 5, you're probably funding not that many loans, and therefore you're not making as much money. It could be that. It could be a specific number of loans you fund. So if you have a goal of funding 5, and you fund only 2 or 3, that's pretty good. And so again, you have to have a very, very specific goal in order for you to achieve your stated goal. Creating measurable goals, the M's for measurable. Establish concrete criteria for measuring progress towards the attainment of each goal you set. And so once again, if I ask you, how's your mortgage business going? You're out of here? Hold on, guys. My little guest is going. Bye-bye, my love. Okay? You be good and you listen to mommy.
Okay.
If not, what happens? Pow, pow. Okay? Go. I love you. Go. Go. Bye-bye, baby.
Bye-bye.
Sorry about that. Oh, damn it. I'm sorry. Hold on. What the hell was that? Keep. Hold on. I'm so sorry, guys. My granddaughter's leaving.
That's pretty nice, Jose. Well, that's very nice, Javier.
Oh, thank you. Can you get? Okay, you should be able to see it. Measurable goals. Like I said, something you want to be able to measure. If I ask you, how's your MLO business going at the end of January? You sound pretty good. I mean, what the hell does that mean, right? I mean, we want something measurable. We want something specific, because I'm going to ask you, what was the goal for January as far as fundings was concerned? 5. And how did you do? 0. Well, something went wrong. Let me help you troubleshoot your business. I actually have an email from one person that I apologize, offered to do that. Was it Michael? Maybe I asked you to troubleshoot or just to strategize, and I didn't get a chance to respond. I saw it. I thought I responded, but it didn't go out. But I'll get back with you, Michael, today. But like I said, then if you're not on track, we need to find out, because it's usually just back in the day, we used to call them minor carburetor adjustments. For those of you that are old, you know what a carburetor is, that a lot of the times when you worked on a car, it was just a slight adjustment on the carburetor, whether it ran or not, or how well it ran, and so on, and how much gas it used up. I mean, just a minor, tiny little adjustment to the carburetor made all the difference. And so you want to make sure you understand that. And so again, we're going to talk about specific monthly goals so you don't end up cheating yourself out of the success you deserve. Attainable goals, creating an attainable goal. And I'm going to show you this right here. I'll give you an example. If your goal is to fund 2 loans in the month of January, but you're not fully sponsored yet, it's not going to be attainable because we can't pay you. I mean, legally, you have to be fully sponsored, the whole 9 yards, and so on. So in our business, there are requirements that if you're not sponsored, get the hiring packet in. If you haven't gotten the hiring packet in, request it. If you haven't, done your NMLS test, well, take the test, or maybe you need to even complete the school. Everybody's different, so I'm not going to get into it for specifics, but you want to make sure it's something attainable. So you have to be in a position to be licensed to even achieve the stated goal. Attainable goals, you can attain most any goal when you set your plan. You can attain most any goal you set when you plan your steps wisely and establish a time frame that allows you to carry out those steps. Goals that may have seemed far away and out of reach eventually move closer and become attainable, not because of your goal shrinking, but because you grow and expand to match them. That's what we want to make sure you do. Realistic goals. Now, realistic, very, very careful here, because you want to make sure that you're not cheating yourself, but at the same time, don't do what a lot of people do, and they set themselves out for something that's not realistic, and they end up getting hurt. Again, as you can see here, to be realistic, a goal must represent an objective towards you are willing to, both willing and able to work. I'll give an example. If I say I want to lose weight in January and I want to lose 50 pounds, and if I don't lose 50 pounds, I'm a loser. Well, I mean, that might not be fair in my own sake, because it's not too realistic. And so it could be pretty challenging to do that. If you say, I want to close 10 loans in January, but you have none in process right now, it's not realistic. That doesn't mean it's not doable. Had you submitted them in December, yeah, it could be in January. But realistic, that's not where you want to start fundings in the month of January when you have nothing in the pipeline. So you need to go back to marketing 101, submitting the goals and prospecting to make sure that you have X number of loans in the pipeline in January so you can fund them in the month of February as well. Again, creating timely goals. A goal should be grounded within a time frame. With no time frame tied to it, there is no sense of urgency. And the hardest thing for people to do, and this is just me, you, all of us, is to learn how to move with a sense of urgency. If you don't do that, there's a difference between moving with a sense of urgency and panic management. I get people all the time that call me about coming to Radiant, and then for whatever reason, they just don't submit their hiring packet, and weeks go by, I have months go by. Then they come back and say, hey, I have a potential loan. Can you send me that packet? But I need everything processed within the next 2-3 days. And I'm like, you're crazy. You're crazy. First of all, we could get it done if we wanted to, but we're not because we got other stuff going on right now. And on top of that, the state's going to take 3 to 4 weeks minimum right now. You're crazy. And so again, you're in panic mode now because you couldn't take action sooner. You would have been beyond sponsored by us by now. You would have been up and running, credentials, everything. But that's because of something on your end. And so therefore, when it comes to being timely, whether it be to get sponsored, whether it be funding loans, make sure you have something in place that timely. You have to have a sense of urgency when it comes to that. Because again, if you want to go ahead and submit, let's just say 5 loans during the month of January, well, get to work on the first week, making sure that you are most definitely prospecting like never before, following up like never before in the first week, so you can make sure that they're in process as it goes by as well. And last, tangible, sometimes referred to as something else, which I'll cover in just one second. The T stands for tangible. A goal is tangible when you can experience it with one of these senses, that is taste, touch, smell, sight, or hearing. Here we're talking about seeing the file in your pipeline, being able to know that you have 5 credit reports pulled, or maybe that you have in process, how many escrows you opened up, and various things that can allow you to do just that. So it has to be tangible, measurable. We have to be able to count it, if you would. How many files you have in process is very tangible. We call up and find out you have 5 loans in the pipeline. Great. But if to say that you're having a pretty good month, well, how many loans in the pipeline? None, but it's a good month. Doesn't work that way. And like I said, sometimes the T stands for tangible, timely, the same thing as it relates to that. But here's what I wanted to just share with you today, because this is more homework than anything else. This is the Goal Planner 2021 goal setting program that I'm going to give you. And while you can use it for anything, to become a better parent, a better spouse, a better loan originator, a better realtor. I mean, at the end of the day, you're going to have to document it to give it a realistic chance of becoming a reality. Most New Year's Day resolutions fail. I said earlier, 90-something% fail within the first 2 weeks, and the rest die off a few weeks after that. So I don't like to leave anything to chance. I just don't. And so my goal is to dramatically increase my income even more in Radiant Mortgage Bank in 2021, but it's not going to happen through osmosis. I'm going to have to work at it and have a specific goal as to how I'm going to make that happen. Now, this comes with a bunch of different sheets that I'm literally going to walk you through the entire program so that you can never say you didn't see it or didn't know, because I'm going to walk you through it. That's how you keep people from doing that. And so here is your daily schedule. Daily schedule simply means that you don't sit here and put laundry in the morning, feed the dog after that. No, we're talking about as it relates to your specific goal. If you want to increase how many loans you fund, well, you better increase how many people you talk to, your marketing, how many credits you pull, and so on. It all boils down to activity. Increase the amount of activity, and you're going to increase your production every single time. So only fill this out for days in which you intend to be productive. If you don't want to be productive like me, it was my birthday yesterday, January 1st. I had no intention of being productive, of accomplishing a damn thing, to be honest with you. But today's different. Yesterday, my kids were here. My grandkids were here visiting me for my birthday, this and that. I mean, beautiful day. It was very productive in that sense, from a fulfilling portion, but not business-wise. So only fill these out for days you want to be productive. And so in the morning, in the evening or afternoon, as you can see on the PM, just put down what you have going on to make sure you keep yourself on track. If you have an empty page, you're in trouble. If you have empty page after empty page after empty page, you're really, really in trouble. And you don't want to do that at all. We'll just go over here. And next one, we have the task list. These are tasks based on priority. Now, most people don't have so many things they have to prioritize. Just get them done. But needless to say, these are the things that you need to specifically do, whether it be getting your landing page. I was talking to a few of our people. They don't even have landing pages as MLOs, which I don't know how you intend to be productive without at least a landing page. People need validation that you're the real deal, your bank's the real deal, and so on. So you want to make sure you have a place to send people to. That could be one. That could be one, and so on. Weekly planner, self-explanatory. It's for the whole week. It leaves Sunday out on purpose, so you can leave Sunday for your God or family or whatever, or maybe you maintain the Sabbath on Saturday. Of course, you can swap it around, whatever you want to do. the point of it is look at it from an MLO perspective. What do you have going on this week that matters? What do you have? A lot of the times we just don't have anything going on that matters. And that is the problem. And so sometimes it's not how we fill things out, it's how we look at it that's empty that we need to make a change there as well. Weekly schedule, self-explanatory. We're breaking down the week. And then you check off the little box next to it every time you complete the activity that you have set for that day of the week. Weekly planner, weekly task, weekly notes. I mean, these are things that have to happen. I'll give you an example, goal or outcome. What's your priority? And then, of course, the steps to take it. Well, marketing. It could be marketing of Facebook, putting social media posts. I gave you guys a ton of posts for social media. Maybe it's that. Maybe it's emailing your old existing clients. I spoke with Steven this past week. He wasn't aware of the fact, and it was my job to make him aware that if you are part of the marketing certificates family, meaning you have an account, you also have the ability to issue people a thing called Dining Advantage. Dining Advantage is, for those of you that remember it, it used to be the old entertainment book. Before you used to pay, I don't know, $30. It used to be used as fundraisers. You paid $30 for the book, and the book came with, it was super thick, about this thick, and it came with coupons, 2 for 1, where most of them were 50% off or 10% off, whatever. Now they moved to the web. And what's really, really nice about this is that if you have the marketing certificates at no additional cost to you, you can give away these Dining Advantage memberships. They download the app, they either search by restaurant, by cuisine, or by proximity. They just hit a little find me feature and it finds them and it tells them what restaurant is available. I was sharing this with a friend of mine. We were at an Italian restaurant and he asked me, because he didn't know about it, and I was telling him about it, and he was, well, do you think this restaurant is on it? We ran about $120 bill, $120, yeah, $120 was for dinner. And I took out the app, I hit the Find Me locator, and first thing popped up was that restaurant, 50% off this restaurant. The server had already given us the check. Thankfully, we hadn't paid it. So I showed it to her. She took it back. She says, oh, yeah, we honor that. Came back with $60 instead of $120. And you could give it away to your clients, to your prospects, to whoever ever you want, which is pretty cool. So how many of them do you give away this week? How many certificates for travel? In, I believe it's August or September, my wife and I were going to Israel, and we're going on the certificates because we're pushing the churches big time. And so therefore, we're recording videos as we go. One of them is going to be for real estate. One's going to be for MLOs. One is going to be for life insurance. And it's going to be just a look, hey, Javier, guys, I'm about to get on the plane on our way to Israel. And this is the exact same state you're going to be able to enjoy literally absolutely free outside of your transportation, taxes, and resort fees, which they have none in Israel. See you in a bit. We walk into the plane, fly fast, forward, holding us, we land. Here we are. This is one of the resorts which you can choose. And so we're going to do a bunch of them. And so, again, I'm marketing perspective, I've got about 50 things I have to accomplish in 2021 to make sure that it's not just productive for me, but also for you, because I'm going to make it available to everybody. Here's a weekly plan. Take a look at your week, how it looks like, how much you are doing or not doing monthly. Now, I do this planner backwards. I start at the end, which I'll show you because we're almost there, and then I work forward from there. Monthly task list, monthly schedule, monthly goals. I mean, what is it that has to happen? What is it that has to happen during the month of January? Some of you mentioned something, but I'm going to pause for those that didn't answer to say something. Now I'm talking about MLO only. You might have a real estate business, or I'm not asking you about that. I'm talking about as a loan originator. What is it that has to happen during the month? Some of the things that have to happen during the month of January for you to say was a productive month. What is it? Anybody? Anybody?
Prospecting.
But no, we're talking about smart, starts with specific. Now, you might say to contact 30 realtors on the phone, one-on-one, as part of prospecting. So that would be like a one. Contact 30 realtors. Okay, that's one of them, but that's not the whole month. That could be one, though. That's a good job. Thank you. Anybody else? Somebody typed in the chat, more contacts. Okay, what is more? What is more contacts? What are we looking for there? What are we missing? What are we missing?
Being specific.
To be specific, yeah.
We need 2 parts of specific. What do we need? 2 specific what? 2 parts of we need to know how many contacts,
How
right?
many contacts and
But what else?
how frequent, maybe
Well,
50 per week or something.
or what contacts for what? Because I can tell you, I need 50. I need 20 contacts, realtors, new realtors. So I'm going to Google, which is easy to find. And the second thing I'm going to do, I need potential home buyers. So I'm looking for potential home buyers, and so on. So we want to be specific. Thank you. I appreciate this, but that's why we're here to learn. Those of you that have real courage, you're answering up right now. Because even though I might be critiquing it a little bit, I'm just making you better. That's all I'm doing. So I commend you. At least you have the guts to speak up. Thank you very much. Nobody else.
I have something I want to say, Javier, because what I'm running into is I'm meeting people and they have the income and they have, money in the bank, but their credit is not where it needs to be. So I'm trying to see, is there something that I need to do maybe to help them with credit repair, or what can I do to get around this?
I mean, the answer, here's what I will tell you. That has a lot to do with the pond in which we're fishing. Does that make sense? And so that's just the reality. Meaning it could be based on, I'll give you an example. I was working with the owner of, I don't know if you've ever heard of a restaurant called Wahoo's. They're known for like fish tacos. And we were doing, I know the owner, he gave us permission to go in there and talk to his employees. But he told me specifically, just so you know, Javier, I don't want you to waste your time, because most of our employees, unfortunately, because it's service-based, not only are they part-time, we have a hard time keeping them because, they're not getting paid maybe what they should, but we also have a lot of unreliable employees that just sometimes quit, don't even. And so what I'm saying is that we did a little sampling, and it was a very tough crowd. So I had to get out of that crowd. I had to get out of it because we were just working too hard. So the answer is, well, the longest I've waited for somebody is 2.5 years, where I told them, look, your credit is all screwed up. Now, I don't know how badly you want to become a homeowner and give your family the home they deserve. I don't know that. But if you are deadly serious, I can put you in touch with people that can get you on track to repair your credit, or restore it, as we call it. And once it gets restored, then I'll pick up at that point where they left off. But we need the FICO to be at least 680 or 650, whatever you're looking for. And so you have to have a partner. If you are going to be using an agency, a company that does that, send them, but don't be the one to help them do that. It's too much work, because the best way, I know how to do the credit repair. I've done it, just countless people. You just basically contest everything. That's the way it is. And you do it in writing, because that way it takes them longer. If the credit bureau doesn't validate it within 30 days, they have to bring it down. But it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. And so for me, I found it easier to go work with teachers in schools and cops that, for the most part, have the income, the credit, and everything else that I needed. And my life changed forever. There are times where we're working with people that are just not in a position. We don't turn our backs on them. We just simply let them know that we're going to put them on a track. And just so you know, credit repair, if they have to go through the credit repair, we're talking many months, especially if they're legitimate, like most of them are. Collections. And that also shows you a lot about the character of the person. And I'm not judging anybody, but I'm just saying that somebody who just simply says, screw it, I'm not paying the bill this month or next month or whatever, it's going to take a while. So I would say, if you want to continue to work in that market, do so. But at the same time, you're going to have to get into other markets. Like I said, teachers, police officers, nurses. I mean, I'm working right now with nurses, just people from that for the most part, those ponds have better fish. You can work with whoever you want, but it's very frustrating. And because their battles become your battle. I stopped doing that a long time ago. Their frustration became my frustration. I'd come home all grumpy, like it was my damn problem, when in reality it was theirs. I didn't cause it. And so I would just say, choose very, very wisely how you do that. Somebody else, you go ahead.
So this is Rhett. Couple things in regards to credit repair. As a mortgage bank, mortgage broker, mortgage loan officer, you are prohibited to be participating in credit repair. Now, our credit company will do credit simulations. So you can log in to the CTI website and you can actually do credit simulations. So we can help people, as Javier was saying, rebuild their credit, but we don't do credit repair. If you're going to get involved with that, please resign immediately so I don't have to report you and get you fired, because seriously, it's a very, very, very serious thing if a loan officer gets caught doing credit repair. Many years ago, I worked for a company that the owner actually got involved and helped the lady, didn't charge her, but helped her write the letters, do all the stuff, and got her credit all cleaned up. And one of the credit bureaus sent her a report, and at the end of the report was a questionnaire saying who helped you, did they charge you, all this stuff. And she thought she was doing a good thing and giving him a good recommendation. Couple months later, he wound up having to close his company and start a brand new company under his mom's name because all the credit companies blacklisted him. It's a very serious thing, credit repair. And it has, although credit repair is a very lucrative business, we have to be very careful about that. So we will help people rebuild their credit, but through our credit simulation process, all of that stuff gets done by the borrower, and it's not something you want to get involved in. You do not write their letters. You don't. All you can do is provide them a plan of how to rebuild their credit. And I will tell you that our credit simulator is excellent. It works. I've used it many, many times with borrowers. But don't get involved yourself. Find somebody, if you have somebody that's what they want, refer them out to somebody else, and make sure everybody understands that you're not involved in the credit repair process. It's very important.
Thank you. And also, on top of that, I just want to stress, be very careful when you refer somebody to somebody or a company that's going to charge them, because if they don't deliver, they're not going to be happy. And they're going to try to drag as many people into the mess to either get their money back or whatever. You don't want to be part of that fight. That's just my point. Because legally, credit repair doesn't exist. Credit restoration is the phrase as it relates to that. And like I said, it takes a lot of time, and it's going to take money on their part and so on. You can put them in the right direction, wait them out. But I would just simply say, go somewhere where you can have a much different type of pond, if you would, or lake to fish out of. And that's what I do. We do workshops on how to market to government employees. If you haven't taken that class, I encourage you to do so, because it teaches you how to penetrate these markets. It takes time, effort, but 90% of them have exactly what we need to close the deal. I don't know who it is, but they just put the initials TS. One of the goals for January is to pass the NMLS exam. They're taking the exam on Wednesday. Best of luck. Wish you luck, and I'm sure you'll pass it. And so, like I said, what else has to happen in the month of February or January for anybody? I mean, I haven't heard one single person say how many loans they must submit. Not one person. So don't be surprised when you end up with a goose egg by the end of January, because you never planned for it anyways. You never believed it anyways. You never asked for it anyways. And so, you have to do that. You have to be very specific. That's what we're talking about. Does anybody here intend to open up escrows, meaning go ahead and submit a file, a legitimate loan? No one in January? Maybe not. Okay. Well, like I said, if we have people that we're going to do that, this is where you would put it. Be very specific. For some of you, it might be pass the NMLS exam. And it's going to take a while for that person to get sponsored, and especially with NMLS, they're behind. But for everybody else, I'm shocked that no one has any business to submit, no application, no credit. I mean, run 10 credits. I mean, the question is, at what point do you sound the alarm with your lack of production or income or advancement? You got to have it. If I go one payday without a paycheck, all right, maybe some freaky stuff happened, but two, God forbid, three, we get paid 1st and 16th. But I tell you right now that if I go 5, 6 pay cycles without a paycheck, I guarantee you that my wife, Marcella, will be like, it's time to move. It's time to move on. It's time for you to get a job, or it's time to change something. But I will hear it, and I want to hear it, because I expect to get paid every 1st and every 16th, every 1st and every 16th. On the financial services side, I've been with this company on the life insurance side for 13 years. And out of 13 years, I probably have missed 5 paydays on every Tuesday and every Friday over there. in 13 years on commission only. I get no stipend. I get no salary, no base pay, 100%, just like you, 100%. But I focus on helping people become productive. And when they make money, I make a little bit of money. So I need them to make a ton. They make $1, I get a nickel. So I need to make a lot of dollars. And I do that, help them make millions of dollars. But man, this is scary stuff. It answers a lot of questions about why people's incomes are where they are. And they're struggling and complaining and whining and this and panicking. Well, it starts with you. You got to take some sense of responsibility and also understand that you get what you ask for, what you believe in. And so what I'm asking you, no goals for January? We might as well just skip the webinars until February. I mean, well, like I said, please don't complain. And but this is where if you did have goals for the month of January, you would put them. Very, very important. I told you I do it backwards. I always take that 30,000 foot view from above, looking down on the entire year of how I want to end December, how many loan officers I'm going to need on my team. I want to know how much money I made. I want to see where our production was at, and I work it backwards. Most people do it forward, January. And guess what? Just on what you guys said, which was nothing, it's going to be a horrible January. And so therefore, you're going to kick the can to February. Okay, I'll do it on February. And then you kick it on March, and then you kick it down to April. And by this time, you're just quitting. You're quitting because Rhett sucked, Javier sucked, the company sucked, and everybody sucked. And you're done. And then it repeats itself for other people. I don't like that. I personally don't like that. I like people that know where they're going. I stay the hell away from people that are lost because all they can do for me is get me lost too. I don't do that. And I when it comes to success and income, I don't mess around. I don't play around. I don't joke about it because I'm telling you, it is hard when you're super, super focused, but it's almost impossible when you're not. Very, very hard, very difficult. But like I said, it's almost impossible if you're not. So for me, I know how I need to end my December, my November, my October, my September, and I work it back. I already have my Christmas party day for December. They were hoping to be able to have one this year. And we had one on December 16th this past month, but we couldn't pull it off because obvious reasons. But we already have a date for December because I know that it's part of the celebration where we invite everybody that closed loans to this event. This is not for just anybody, but we want to make sure we do this as appreciation, as everything else. And so I worked my way backward from December all the way to January, not the other way around, because then it's just being a waste of time and so on. So yearly goals, what is it that has to happen? Well, the one person that's going to take the exam, January, you have to pass the NMLS exam and submit the MB4, your sponsorship request, and become fully sponsored by the end of the month if you do it early enough, which I think you have enough time. February for that person has to be, the first 4 loans have to be in the pipeline by February. They must. If they are not, something is terribly wrong. And they better reorganize themselves, reassess themselves, and so on, and don't repeat that mistake in March, because in March it has to be the 4. And then from there, just move it forward. Build your referral network. Do your landing pages. Buy one if you have to, for God's sake, as long as it's compliant. Run it by Rhett. He'll run it by the corporate attorney. You get the thumbs up, you're in business. You heard me say earlier that you have to go after these niches. I love working with nurses. I love working with cops. I love working with teachers because I get to learn their lingo. I know that if I work with a cop, I need the pay stubs. I know they get paid every other Wednesday. I know they have this thing called defer comp. So if they give me a copy of the defer comp, we can use that as the reserves as well. And on and on and on. The same thing with teachers. They call it the 4.3Bs over there. So when you understand the power of these different niches, if you would, you're going to do a lot better. And so what is it going to be? Now, you can have multiple of these sheets, just so you know. You don't get to have just one sheet. You can have multiple. So one of them is going to be production-wise. What is it going to be in the month of January, production-wise, that you have to generate in order to stay in the game? What is it? But it can't be a 0. It can't be nothing. So one is for production goals. 3 loans, January, 1 in February, because it's Valentine's Day. You're going to be out of the country, which is fine. March, you're going back at it. April, May. For me, I know it's going to be, historically has been June, July, very low production because so much of our business comes from schools. Schools are out for the summer, and we're out for the summer. We're going, we travel somewhere. So I know production, personal production will be low those 2 months, and that's okay. I know December is going to be probably a zero because I want to be home with my kids and grandkids. It's okay to do that. But my question is, when are we working? And when we say we're going to work, we have to work. We have to generate results. There's great power in generating results. Now, this is, like I said, just for purposes of production. You should have a yearly goal on a monthly basis to make yourself better, smarter, more productive. I'll give an example, and I'm referring to learning. How many people here know how to throw up a WordPress page where you can do it in about an hour? If you learn that skill, it will change your life forever as an MLO, as a realtor, and so on. And then, of course, from that, you can have them for, you heard me say it earlier, relationships. February, we're going to Cabo for Valentine's Day with Marcella. March, for her birthday, we're going to Hawaii and bringing my granddaughter there for the first time ever. Then we're going to Israel. You heard me say that in August, September, we're going to Israel as part of the church campaign that we're going to, all of you have access to that have the system. And so that's the personal side. And then you go from the business side, and then you go from this side. I mean, that's the beauty about these sheets. And I'm not talking about you just typing it up, PDF fillable. I don't do that. I have it, but I don't give it to anybody because it's junk. You want to make sure you print these things out and you take pen to paper and write them out. It's amazing how you write them out. You do that. One big one for me is client appreciation. How do you appreciate your clients? I make it a point to do things that are literally off the beaten path, unexpected, unorthodox, whether it be giving people a laptop because they didn't have a laptop, or maybe giving them, I've installed God knows how many Ring doorbells. And I have a IT guy that goes around and he knows what to do. When I tell him, hey, come to this guy's house or this family's house, he just, there's nothing but to install Ring doorbell. I mean, stuff that they remember you by, that even if you run into them 5 years from now, they'll say, hey, man, that's that guy. He helped us out. That was pretty cool. I remember that. Things like that. You know, I mentioned the other day to somebody how, you know, I sent last year and a bunch of times my clients to Not Scary Farm. Not Scary Farm, you know, younger people that love that. And I mean, just different things of how you appreciate people. Do that as well. And then there's your year at a glance. And the year's 2021. And again, the big accomplishments, the big goals, the things that must happen. Fund X number of loans, pass the $50,000 a year in income mark, whatever you want. I can't dream for you. And that's the beauty about goals, that goals are just dreams with the deadline, if you would, because I love dreams. I mean, that's, if you were to ever ask me what I sell, is I sell a dream, the dream of home ownership, meaning that I show people how to go from renters to homeowners for their own sake and their children's and their grandchildren's sakes as well. I sell the dream of becoming an MLO while you can still work as a realtor. I sell the dream of being part of a literally multi-trillion-dollar industry with just a simple NMLS license. You can partake in it. I mean, I love selling dreams. You don't require a license. There's no dream license required. There's no dream commissioner. Nothing. It's a dream. But the best part of a dream is you throw a deadline behind it, and now you have a goal. And so different areas of your life by month, you can circle January. What are you going to do in January? Your home-wise. How about your finances-wise, health-wise, relationships-wise? I think that if you strike a balance between all the different things that matter to you in life, you're going to have what is referred to as a fulfilled life. With, unfortunately, a lot of people don't get to experience that. And I want to make sure that if you're not already experiencing it, that you do experience it. Money's not everything, but it ranks up there with oxygen. It dictates so much of our lives. And so therefore, for me, you heard me say it last week, and I'll say it again, income is a big deal this year for me. Last year, it wasn't. Last year was about, let's just get our bearings. Let's go with the flow. Let's maximize what we have with the challenges that we have. Here we are with 2021. Damn, COVID-19 is still around. But we don't have to drag it along as baggage this year because we know what it's all about now. We know a lot more about it. We just go with the flow, knowing that at some point in this year, it will end. But until then, we still have to generate the results. And that's where I challenge you to do as well. So goals areas and all the aspects of your life. Plan your goals. What's the goal? What's the strategy? Very simple. For you, it might be fund your first loan or fund 4. You know, it's referred to as a CBE, your career best effort. What is your CBE funding wise? How many loans is the most? And I'm not talking about back in the day, in the 2005. And I'm talking about now, in this era, because we are living in this era. We're working in this era. What is your best effort? And if it's 1 is the answer, that's great. I'm proud of you, but I can guarantee you that if we work together and then you apply yourself, we can go from 1 to your career best effort of maybe 2. What's the goal? What's the strategy? What's the next action? And jot those notes. And so lastly, what I'm going to leave you with here before we wrap it up, it's going to be the habit. There you go. Somebody just told me that the goal is to double the income from last year. That's a beautiful goal, because in our world, part of the reason I'm in the mortgage business is because you make big chunks of money. And in most of the places, when I was a cop, when I was in the Marine Corps, I had a salary. No matter how many hours, 50 or 1,000 hours a week, I got the same pay. When I was with the police department, it was based on hourly pay. But you couldn't just simply double your income by working 40 to 80 hours. It wouldn't let me do that. Here, if you fund one loan, if you average just one a month, and you do 2, all of a sudden, you doubled your income and you added 3 more hours, 5 more hours of work. So it's very, very doable. Don't cheat yourself, is what I'm saying. And then lastly, here's your habit tracker. Now, what are the habits that you think make or break loan officers? Anybody? Specific, remember that.
Procrastination.
Come
I
on.
think consistency is the key. I think you can't.
Okay, but what habit? What habit? Now, specific habits. What are we talking? We're going to track our habits here for 31 days. And at the top, here, let me make it easier. Hold on. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just make you understand a little better. Let me just go here. And here's what I want to do. Okay, so here you're going to put habit 1. You're going to write down another habit, and then you're going to go ahead and check off every time you do that habit, or how many times you did that on any given day. So what habits, and this is just loan officers. You can do this in your personal life, health, this, that. I don't care about that right now. I'm talking about just as a loan officer. Anybody?
Calling 10 people a day.
Okay, perfect. Get a specific number behind it, 10. And then we can even zero in even more by simply saying 10 realtors a day to build your alliance, correct? 10 realtors a day. 10 potential referring clients from the past. It's going to force you to go ahead and reach out to those clients that, by the way, that's the lowest hanging fruit. So that's a great idea. Thank you very much. Anybody else, please?
Run 10 credit reports per month.
Okay, cool. I mean, how many credit reports are you averaging a day? For some, the answer is 0 or 1 or 2. I don't know, but yeah, have a specific number. How many credits you're going to run a day? This is a business, for God's sakes. This is not a hobby. I hope it's not a hobby. So yes, you want to run a certain number per day. Anybody else, please? What other habits can we develop if we don't have them already?
Well, talk to
Heart attack. One of these.
real estate agents, maybe 10 per week.
Okay, I mean, we could do 10 a day, every other day, every 5, or a week. Great, I'll give you, that's fine. But this we're tracking on a daily basis, so 2 a day, or Monday through Friday, great. What else? Anybody? Come on.
I would say post. I would say post to Facebook at least 2 times a day.
Great one. And if you're going to post, first of all, have a specific number. I don't care if it's 1 or 10. I'm not telling you a number. I mean, whatever you want to. I'd be happy if everybody did just 1. But behind it, learn the power of hashtags. Most people don't appreciate it. They think it's just a catchy little thing that teenagers and millennials do. They do that, yeah, but they do it because it works. So hashtag home ownership matters. Hashtag, so on. Leverage the power of hashtag. What else? What else habits do you need to work on? Anybody? Develop, track. You guys are bad. You guys are really bad.
Javier, you got 24 people in this video.
I'm sorry?
You have 24 people in this video. Only 3 are speaking. What happened?
People are over and over. Which, thank you. Well, come on, man. This is not.
I would say for myself is working on.
People show up just to be. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I would say for myself to work on more technology and getting a better understanding of how the technology that I can use to help promote my business.
Perfect. I mean, your best friend, well, you got a bunch of best friends, but one of your best friends is YouTube, just so you know, because there's so much information. I mean, most of what I know, I'm learning on YouTube. I have my mother-in-law, she's in Prague. My brother-in-law lives with his mom in Prague. Their heater broke down. Anyway, whatever. The point of it is that they're trying to find somebody to come in because it was the New Year's Eve weekend. You know, they need, of course, hot water and heat, whatever. And they got tired of calling around and nobody would show up. That he just YouTubed it, called back and said, "Hey, I learned how to fix it." He fixed it, saved himself all kinds of money. YouTube. So yeah, improve yourself. Please don't bring the old, I don't say smelly, but the old dirty, antiquated version of you in 2020 into this new year. Don't do that. It's not going to work. Make sure you improve yourself, your skill set, and so on. So yes, learn just on a day. Now, even if you say I'm going to learn something new, it doesn't have to be every day. But track. If you look at the habit tracker on the first one, you watched one video to learn how to do something. Maybe you didn't do it again till the 15th, and maybe once again on the 31st. That's 3 times a month. It's probably 3 more times than the month before. And then, like with my kids, I try to get them to figure things out for themselves, learn it for themselves, YouTube it themselves, and stuff like that. One last habit tracker, because we only have 2 hours here. Anybody else a new person?
Hey, Javier, can I ask you a quick question?
Sure.
So the habit, I'm not understanding how this form works. So at the top, you may say like call 10 clients a day, but then you have numbers 1 through 30. What is that?
The 1 through 31 refers to the days of the month. So the 1 is the first of the month, the second of the month, the third of the month. And so the way we do it is 2 things. If you say, I'm going to call 10 realtors a day. So what you could do on the first one, you would, under the 01, under the first bubble, which you would say call realtors, you could either put the number of realtors you actually called. So your goal is 10, but you spoke to 5. On the second of the month, you spoke to none because you were busy. On the third, you spoke to 20. Does that make sense? So you could just...
Yeah, because I think what we're trying to ascertain here is that we want to create a habit. And you're saying in 31 days, if you see what you're doing within 31 days, you create the habit?
Yes. And most importantly, the reason I ask people to spit it out. Now, why do you think a lot of people don't answer up right now? Why do you think that's so, Michael? I'll tell you.
I don't know. It's valuable time to speak up, but I'm not sure.
Well, I'll tell you why. For most people, they don't speak up because they know what needs to be done that they're not doing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's why. And so I feel pretty dumb saying I should call 1 realtor a day, but I know that if this was my habit tracker, I would just see zeros all the way down. Does that make sense?
No, it does. I think this is very good because it gives us the opportunity to see, hey, listen, did I do... you need 31 days, or it's really 21 days, whatever it is, to create a habit. And this is a visual that's showing us, well, did you do it? Or did
yes.
you not?
And here's the way I see it. I don't want anybody on my team to ever plead ignorance, meaning I never knew how stuff like this worked. I don't like that. I like to dispel how simple it can be. Not easy, because the part that's hard is that we're human. It's that it's us. We are hard on other people, but very easy on ourselves. And so therefore, for me, if I'm sitting here telling you I really need to increase my income dramatically, if I usually talk to or contact 20 realtors, I'm going to have to take it to 40. And I'm looking at my sheet and I say 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. It's like, damn, well, I know the problem now. I thought the problem was Rhett, or the problem was Javier. I thought the problem was, the market and the bank. And in reality, the problem, it turns out, is me. We have a coping mechanism and defense mechanism hardwired into our brain to do everything we can to keep the blame out of our plate, out of our court. Does that make sense? And so the freedom we all want comes from when we realize that is still the case. But in spite of that, I'm going to take ownership of my business and I'm going to move it forward one way or the other. So this is the habit tracker right here. Notes. You see just regular notes. You want to jot them down. Expenses. Now, the reason that this is here is because a lot of people use this for finances, meaning that they're actually doing this for their finances. And great. The reason I like to put this here is because a lot of what we do is tax deductible. Just people don't think it adds up, when in reality it does. If you're emailing, if you're using constant contact, if you're buying an email list, keep track of your expenses, because at the end of the day, it is all tax deductible. And so make sure you stay on top of that, if you would, to be able to do just that. Stay on top of it right there. And then, I know what the hell I went. Where the hell? Oh, shit. Hold on. I want to share with you. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to exit this because it's not advancing. Okay. Oh, I see. Now I'm just going to show you where to get it. And we are done. Let me just go ahead and pull this up here because for whatever reason, the mouse decided to disappear on me. Damn. All right, can you guys hear me again? Can anyone hear me?
Yeah.
I just went away for a second there. I apologize, but here's the last part I just wanted to share with you. Where to get this material. It's free. I buy it because I use it every single day, but I wanted to give it to you as a gift as well. And income tracker, please stay on top of this because this is just going to give you an example. See, all of us as MLOs, real estate agents, I don't care what you do, we're either growing or dying. And you need to know if you're growing or you're dying. And so I measure everything here by income. And so here you're just simply going to go ahead and just on a monthly basis, track your income for median along with anything else you want to. But I'm just talking about as an MLO, make sure you stay on top of your income. So you're going to go to ffslinks.com. As you can see right here, ffslinks.com, and download the entire planner absolutely free of cost. FFS LINKS, ffslinks.com. Let me go ahead and see this. I got a chat message. Instagram. Oh, yeah. Instagram ads, Facebook. I mean, it's a lot of things to do. Absolutely agree with that as well. Any questions, comments, concerns, anything from anybody before we wrap it up? Anybody at all? All right, well, no one has anything else to share. I just want to say thank you for all you do, everything that you did in 2020. But I really think it's, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's really time for all of us to step up our income and our effort, our production. Most importantly, like I said, set our goals and hit our goals, and then just simply repeat. I forgot Rhett. Rhett, I'm sorry. Go ahead, sir. It's all yours.
Thanks, Javier. Appreciate it. I know we're running late today. I want to take a couple minutes. If you have to leave, we understand. But I wanted to take a couple minutes and kind of make some comments here about goals and what this is really all about, and some things I think that might help you. The important thing about goals is it helps you plan and track activity. This whole meeting was really, if you rename goals to activity, because it's all about, you can't control how many loans you're going to close. You can't control necessarily how much money you're going to make. What we can control every day is our activity. And we're all salespeople. And in our business, the only people who are really successful are people who are self-starters. We have to be able to get out of bed every morning and through create the habit things that we've created that will get us to our ultimate goal, which is actually not called a goal at all, but our vision, our dreams. What is it that you desire? So before you get into planning all your activity, maybe you should figure out what you desire. What is it that you really want out of life, out of relationships, out of your business? What is it that you truly, truly desire? Because those things you truly desire, if you focus on those types of things, then it makes the activity easier. Working is tough. Making phone calls, talking to people, doing all these things, it's tough. But if you are so focused on your dream, on your vision, on your desire, when we really truly desire something, everything else fades away. It becomes front and center to everything that we do, every decision that we make. If we desire it enough, we can achieve it. The subconscious mind does not have the ability to distinguish reality from imagination. And if we get really good at imagining, something that, for those of you who've known me for a while, I am a master at imagining what I want. And it comes true. It's because I make it a desire, and that desire overwhelms me. Rosa's always scared when I start talking about doing some crazy thing, because she knows once I set my mind to something, it might be a week, it might be a month, it might be a year, but it's going to happen because that's the way I am. I am single-minded. I'll be honest with you. I don't set activity goals. I don't do goals anymore. I do visions. But in the beginning, I had to do goals. I had to create certain habits. I had to track my activity until it got to a point like Michael was talking about. You do it a certain amount of time. You don't have to think about it anymore. It's a habit. That's why, it doesn't mean I'm not active. Believe me, I'm very active. It's funny. One of the ways I know how active I am is I look at my credit card bill. I have one credit card that I use just for my credit reports. My credit report bill, my personal credit report bill every month is somewhere north of $1,200 a month. Now, think about if you had a credit card bill for $1,200 a month that was just for running credit. That's all I do on that credit card, is I just run credit. I never charge my borrowers the credit report fee. I always pay for it. Now, some of you are thinking, damn, how can I pay for a $1,200 a month credit card bill? Well, there are months it's in the $2,000. If you think about now, each credit report is somewhere between 20 and 25 bucks. You can figure out how many credit reports that I personally run every single month. And I know this last year I had one month that the bill was $843. And I remember it specifically because I felt like I had failed that month because I only had a bill of $843. You get to a point where if you are active and you're doing what you need to do to achieve your dreams, your visions, if you're doing what you desire, all this other stuff doesn't matter. You don't even think about it. Javier talked about how the fact that, he doesn't even think about balancing his checkbook. I'm the same way. I haven't balanced a checkbook in 10 years. If I want something, I go buy it. My kids hate birthdays and Christmas time for me trying to pick out a gift because I don't need anything. If I want something, I either go buy it, and if it's expensive, I put a picture on my phone, I put a picture on my computer, and I look at it every single day, sometimes several times a day. If I really want something, it's going to happen because I'm just going to go take care of it. And that is a great feeling. I don't think about, like Michael said, his idea of independent is to be financially independent, not to have to think about paying bills. I don't think about paying bills. I just, if I want something, I go buy it. The only debts I have are my car payments, and I want those debts because I like driving new cars every couple of years, and that's one of the things that I enjoy. Haven't been driving as much lately because I'm always home, but these are things that I really enjoy doing, and it makes me feel good. So the point is, we have to, you have to set these goals, these activity goals, so that you can get to where you really want to be. So where do you really want to be? Something that's very, very important, I think, is you got to think about What is it that you desire? What is it that you want? And create a vision board. You know, you've heard me talk about this before. Create a vision board. I got to tell you, I'm really good at imagining and visioning what I want for my future. And I have not, for whatever reason, I've not been able to win the lottery yet. And I'm serious about this because I can't vision money. I can vision things. And my wife says if I could ever figure out how to vision that check, I'd probably win the lottery. But and I truly believe that, by the way. Some of you are thinking I'm crazy right now, but when I want something, I go to the internet, I Google it, I get a picture of it. I look at this every single day, and it's what I call my vision board. I have an album on my phone called Vision Board. I have a folder on my computer that has vision. It's about keeping it in your subconscious and making you believe it. And pretty soon, when you really focus and you've learned how to imagine yourself in this situation. I imagine myself in the new car. I imagine myself right now, Rose and I are looking to buy a new house this next year. And, I actually sent a couple pictures to Travis and he's like, really? You're thinking about spending that much money? Yeah, I'm thinking about spending that much money, but I'm not thinking about spending the money. I'm thinking about living in the house, thinking about how it will make me feel. And that's what gets me going every day. This is a tough business. You're dealing with, if you're a good loan officer or a good realtor, you are a fireman or a fire person, because in every transaction there are fires. Sometimes they're big fires, sometimes little fires, but a successful loan officer, a successful realtor is someone who can get past the fires, put them out, keep people involved. And we have to keep people involved and make sure that people feel like we are on top of things, because we want them to refer us to other people. We cannot continually have to start over every single month. If you do your job well and you help people, like Stephen was saying earlier, and you really make sure that they understand the process and that you've done a good job for them, they're going to want to refer you to their friends. It's just the way things work. And the more people that refer you, the more money you are eventually going to make. The more money you make, the better you're going to feel, and the more of your dreams and visions you will be able to realize. And so it's very important, I think, that before you start creating your activity and your goal tracking, think about, take a little bit of time, take an hour, and just start writing down things that you desire, things that would make you feel good. And then, as Javier was talking about, goals are smart. The last thing was timely and tangible. It has to be tangible. You have to be able to picture it. If you cannot picture, we think in pictures. And if you can't picture what that means, what that desire means, it's going to be very difficult to achieve it. So think about, not about how much money, think about what it would feel like. Think about what it looks like, especially if you can get a picture of it that you can look at and then have that picture superimposed into your subconscious. And you think about this every day, all day, whatever it is, it will help you stay on track. It's once you've learned how to do this, your daily goals and activity, it kind of goes to the wayside, because you don't have to think about it so much, because you are so focused on. It's like when you get in the car, if you have to go to Walmart, you're not thinking about all the different things going on around you. You see them, and subconsciously you're taking care of it. But how many times have you been on the phone or been lost in your thoughts, and you wind up where you're going anyway? Because it's automatic. And that's how, if you really, really learn how to keep these desires and dreams in your head, it will help the daily activity that you have to do to get there be a lot easier. Because at the end of the day, goals, as Javier said, need to be realistic and attainable. Okay, dreams and visions don't necessarily need to be. The more outrageous, if you really truly want it, if you really truly believe that at some point in time you can get there, don't think about how to do it. Don't think about how to get there as much as think about how it would feel to be there. You know, one of the things that Anthony and I, many, many years ago, we were involved in a company called A.L. Williams. And this is back in the mid 80s. And one of the things that really helped us is we wound up surrounding ourselves with people who were making a lot of money. At the time, you know, we were making a few $1,000s a month. And we started going to these meetings where every week we saw people that were making $20,000 a month, $30,000 a month, $40,000 a month. And when we started doing that, all of a sudden we started realizing that it was possible. You know, Javier has talked about every once in a while that, you know, if he doesn't make $10,000 a week, he feels like he's done something wrong. And this is why I like hanging out with guys like Javier and Anthony and a few people that are working with us. Do you know that we have probably 10 people in our branch that make over $100,000 a year? We have 6 people in our branch that make over $250,000 a year. We don't talk about it because we're not trying to brag. It's just, but you need to know that you can make a lot of money doing this business, and you need to surround yourself with people that are like-minded. You know, think about all the people that you've dealt with or you hang out with in 2020 that are at the end of the day losing, not losers. They're losing. Do you want to continue to hang out with people that always lose, or do you want to hang out with people that win? Do you want to win yourself? You've got to surround yourself with like-minded people. That's why meetings like this are so important. Get involved and don't just attend the meetings though. You know, I'm looking on this, the people that are in the meeting with us, and there are several people in here that haven't turned in a loan in several months. And I get it. Maybe you're doing other things. You know, maybe you don't have to do a loan every month or a loan every week or a loan every day or whatever the case may be. And that's okay if that's what makes you happy. But I know that most of you that are on this meeting today, you want to be a success. You want to create a legacy from your family, or your family rather. And the question is, how bad do you want it? What is your desire? So figure out, take a few minutes, maybe today or tomorrow, take some time, figure out what it is that you truly, truly desire. Not just one thing, come up with a few things. And go on Google and get some pictures, put it into a vision board. You don't have to print it out, put it on your phone, put it on your computer, and look at it every single day. And once you've created these pictures, now go back and start looking at and creating your activity tracker, your goals, if you will. Start working on those. And if you've already done goals for the year, go back and now, based upon your desires, what do you need to do? How much more do you need to do? And once you figure that out, I'm telling you, it is so refreshing to know that to be in a position where I don't have to think about paying the bills. I don't have to think about any of those things. However, the hardest part that I have, and it's been even harder this last year because of the COVID, it is coming up with new goals, coming up with new desires. Because at the end of the day, you know, there are times that I feel I've got everything I want. And then Rose and I will talk, and I said something the other day, and she says, well, you can't have everything you want. And I looked at her and said, why not? Why not? you know, if I want it, why can't I have it? And she's like, okay, fine. You can have everything you want, but most people can't. So no, that's not true. Everybody can have what they want. You just have to want it bad enough. Javier?
Thank you so much. And I'm just going to wrap it up with the slide number 4 that we were sharing during the workshop. And I love the Radiant workshop or the webinar because I have one at 9 that I have to end by 9:40. This one, we can go long if we need to, and I hope it's worth your time when we do go long. But I'm hoping this slide comes up here in just 1 second as we wrap it up. It's the same slide you saw earlier. Again, the 4th slide. I don't know why it's taking so long to actually show up. Oh, there it goes. But it's a simple question. Do you know what you really want? Do you really know what you really, do you know what you really want? For a lot of people, the answer is no. There's a lot of things they'd like to have, like to accomplish. It would be nice, but I'm talking about something that is that burning desire that literally won't let you fall asleep. I love these webinars because I know what it represents to you first and foremost. And I know that not everybody's going to participate. Not everybody is going to do what needs to be done, but enough will. And I'm just challenging you to become part of that elite group that's going out there and swinging their swords day in and day out, because Rhett said it, I say it, and I'm going to say it again. This business can suck, meaning it could be hard, and the borrowers and the underwriters and this, and then it seems that everybody's fighting to make it harder than it should be. But it is what it is, but it has the potential to pay you like nothing else out there. There's really not that many things that I know of that you can go out there and do and make the kind of money we make for just a few hours of work and have it not be a felony, if you would, or illegal, or the threat of jail. And so I challenge you to partake in this great odyssey that we're on and make 2021 your best year yet. And so having said that, I thank everybody for everything. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up for right now. We are going to put this on our YouTube channel. And so I challenge you to go ahead and subscribe to it. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, visit it. I was talking to somebody today and we finally figured it out. And I'm just pulling it up here to give you the right address. It was RMB YouTube, I believe. Anyways, I'll send it out to you right now. So that way, in case you can't make one of the webinars, you at least know, I think it's RMB on YouTube or something. I'll just send it to you. And I just simply, like Brad, say thank you for all that you do and really challenge you to go out there and live life on your terms. It's never easy, but it's always worthwhile. And I too believe that this is going to be our best year ever collectively as individuals. But I think this is the time for all of us to come together and do our collective part to make sure that our brand shines once again. And most importantly, again, it will help you get from where you are today to where you really want to be and you really deserve to be and your family deserves to be on December 31st of 2021 as well.
By the way, Javier, I didn't get a chance to tell everybody, but one of the things that we talked about in November is that I told everybody my plan was to make December the best month we had for our branch and beat our best, break our record. We actually broke our funding record by over 20%. We by far, December was the best month our branch has ever had. So thank you all for all the work that you did for that. If you weren't part of that, be part of January, be part of February, be part of March, be part of 2021. And let's go out and have a wonderful, prosperous, and successful new year.
Perfect. And, like I said, sometimes people tell me, man, sounds like things are horrible. What, the way I talk, it's not that. It's just that no matter how good they are, they can always be better. And I can guarantee you that your family will never come back and say, all right, stop making so much money, stop living life on our terms and so on. They're going to encourage you to do more and more and more once you partake in the success that is being shared by so many. I did send a message to everybody. Please visit RMB on YouTube.com and click the subscribe and click on the little bell icon to get notified. That way you don't have to be checking for new materials. It'll message you whenever a new video is uploaded. RMB as in Radiant Mortgage Bank on YouTube altogether, RMB on YouTube.com, and click on the subscribe and then the little bell icon to get notified. We don't have that many people signed up for it. So do that because we're going to be switching to a lot more classes that are going to be just posted there via instead of the actual live webinars. And you don't want to miss out on any of that as well. All right. Thank you so much, everybody. Welcome to 2021, and let's make this year our best year yet. Thank you.